Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the Epic Film Challenge 2, Heat. This film is, I think it was released in 1995, directed by Michael Mann. You look confused?
I'm trying to remember what the movie was like.
We watched it, last week.
I know, but go on.
Great crime thriller, epic crime thriller,
right,
set in Los Angeles. Set in Los Angeles. The big kind of selling point of this film was the fact that we were going to see Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the same film and kind of share screen time. Of course, they were both in The Godfather Part 2, where Robert De Niro played his father, but that was in a flashback. So it was the first time we saw the two icons, legends of cinema, kind of sit down in a scene together. But the whole film was basically about those two characters and how they're completely opposite from each other and how they're kind of the same. Robert De Niro's character is kind of like one of the staples of a group of people who rob banks in LA, and Al Pacino's the head of the police force, I guess you could say, to be simple about it, in LA.
I think that's cool because I would always picture Al Pacino being the bad guy and Robert De Niro being the cop.
Yeah.
So, and in the beginning I couldn't even tell the difference between them because they were both young with dark hair, and I'm used to seeing them with grey hair, at least Robert De Niro. And so I was like, hang on, that's no, what, who?
Yeah.
Who's that? What?
I seriously didn't understand how you couldn't tell them apart. But
No, but later on I could.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm Robert De Niro, grey hair in my head. Seeing him with dark hair was really weird, but he was awesome, seriously.
Yeah. And of course there's so many characters in it. It's a near 3-hour movie, and there's lots of threads running through it. And everything works really well. Val Kilmer's in it also, and this is kind of
good.
Yeah, it was kind of the point where Val Kilmer was actually kind of on the rise in Hollywood, and then he kind of just...
Was this before or after Willow?
Way after. Willow was the 80s.
Right.
But in the 90s I think he did like The Saint, he did Heat, and then of course he did Batman Forever, and it all went downhill from there. Anyway, so yeah, not too much to say about it. When watching it, I kind of got what everyone was saying about how The Dark Knight is so like Heat.
I did not know that anybody had said that whatsoever, but there was this scene where the music and the scenery and the colors and the shooting and the angles and everything just made me like, this is like The Dark Knight. I'm sure Luke won't think that, because every time I compare something to something, it's like, no, it's not. Okay, maybe a little. And so I just shut up about it. But in the end, when he was done, he's like, so do you think it was a little bit like Dark Knight? And I'm like, oh my god! I felt like he'd read my mind or something. But then, obviously, I'm not the only one who's thought about it, and so it's not weird that I thought so. But it was a lot like, and I really, really wanted to see The Dark Knight when I was watching it. It was really cool. I really enjoyed everything about it, like the shots, the angles, the acting was amazing. The way De Niro and Al Pacino were playing together, the story itself, like it didn't get boring, even though it was really long. I didn't even remember it being that long. I just remember enjoying the movie.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
That's right. Well, of course, Christopher Nolan had said that Heat was an inspiration for him when he was filming The Dark Knight, and how the city's kind of like another character in the film, and how much the city is used and how it's shot and established and everything. There's some, again, great actors in the film in smaller parts. Danny Trejo, who plays, I think his character name was Trejo, I think.
Yeah, because you reacted to that.
Yeah. There's, what's his name, that guy? We saw him at the...
William Fichtner.
Yeah, he was in it also. I'm thinking of, what's his name? I think Tom Sizemore. We saw him do a talk at the London Film and Comic Con a few years ago.
Did we?
Yeah, I don't know if you remember. It wasn't that memorable.
The only talk I remember us watching was Robert...
Nepa.
Nepa.
It was in the same hall. But anyway, Tom Sizemore. There's someone else I'm thinking. Natalie Portman, a young Natalie Portman in this.
So we've seen Tom. What's his name?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him live.
Sizemore, yeah.
Why don't I remember that?
It wasn't that memorable. All I remember him saying was that he's like, yeah, I've had a lot of luck in my roles, and I'm going to be a villain in the new Expendables film. He's the, hard to explain. He's the one who picks up the girl after the heist.
Oh.
And remember Al Pacino takes him along,
right.
Kind of the stocky guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, young Natalie Portman in the film. yeah, just some great actors all around, really. And Robert De Niro's love interest, I don't know the actress's name, but she was good as well. And she reminded me of Maggie.
Oh, Felicity.
What?
She plays in Felicity.
Oh, does she?
I think so.
I thought you were going to say her character name is Felicity.
No,
oh, okay.
But I'm pretty sure she's the one who plays Felicity.
But don't you think she looked and sounded a bit like Maggie from The Walking Dead? Just a little bit?
No.
You didn't think that?
No,
Really?
not whatsoever.
Really?
Nothing. No.
Wow, I thought it was uncanny. Seriously, she could have been a mother.
Yeah, but there you go. It's you and me. We see different things. I think it's colour blindness and me needing glasses. It's just like a bad combination.
So what else to say about Heat?
I'm gonna find out what her name is now. You can keep on talking.
Okay. Oh, John Voight is in this film. Of course, John Voight. I love John Voight. Amazing actor. He kind of played a higher up to Robert De Niro's character in the film. And again, yeah, I love the similarities and stuff. I noticed more this time watching it than I did the first couple of times between De Niro and Pacino's character. There's a great scene where they're kind of looking right at each other, even though they're not.
I love that scene.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Pacino's in a truck with infrared looking at De Niro, and De Niro kind of knows he's there, and they're looking at each other, but they're not, if you know what I mean. It's just so awesome.
Kerry Russell.
There you go. The tension and everything, and let's have a look. What? That's not her. It's not her.
That is her.
That totally is not her.
That is her.
That is not. Google it. Kerry Russell is not who plays in Heat. You're thinking of someone completely different.
She looks so much like her though.
Just look how young she looks there. Heat is nearly 20 years old. Anyway.
Felicity was actually in 1998, so I'll show you the picture now.
Yeah, that's not her.
It is her!
It's not.
She looks just like her.
It's not her.
It's not her.
This review's all over the place, but we'll just leave it how it is. That's the way we do it.
Damn it. She looks like her.
Okay. So we'll do a bit of a spoiler bit at the end, but would you say this is a film you must see before you die?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't seen it before.
I would say so too. I would say that it's just a great film all round, and some people say that like it's a masterpiece, it's one of the best films ever made. I wouldn't go that far, but I would definitely say, in terms of a 1001 list, it has to be there. I think in a top 100 list it would have to be there. Great film. Now, spoiling a few things, or just one thing really.
Spoiler alert.
Ding 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 ding. The end of the film, of course, is just this kind of real tense kind of chase between De Niro and Pacino, and it kind of teases whether or not that they're gonna, part ways. And it looks like De Niro's got away with, running away basically, and getting away with it. But Pacino catches up with him, and there's a really tense kind of, scene with the guns and stuff.
I'm getting kind of chills thinking about the ending because it was.
Yeah, it's really emotional, and of course he shoots De Niro, and then De Niro says, I said I was never going back, because they had this great scene in this cafe.
I told you I was never going back.
Yeah. If you look at his mouth, it almost looks like he's not saying it. It's definitely dubbed.
Well, but I mean.
Anyway, so there's a great cafe scene where they kind of they go and just sit down and chat, even though that Pacino's supposed to arrest him and stuff, and he's supposed to be getting away from Pacino, but they sit down and kind of just have a chat, and it's just so cool. And they kind of sum it all up, and it's just brilliant. And then of course he references that again when he says, "I told you I was never going back," as in I'm never going back to jail and that kind of thing. And Pacino kind of just holds his hand, and then this really great piece of music by Moby, I think, plays as the credits roll, and it's just a great kind of
so good.
Yeah, you'd think looking at the
I was sat like.
You'd think looking at the poster of the film Heat, there's no way you would think, I bet that ends with a really emotional kind of embrace. Well, not embrace, but an emotional moment.
No, because it wasn't like holding hands. It was like. It looked like he was about to help him up. That kind of, it looked like a handshake.
Yeah.
In a way, and so it wasn't. It didn't look gay in any way, or it didn't look like. It was just. Because you knew that there was a connection there, because the whole movie is like. Al Pacino goes earlier in the movie, I can feel that he's still here.
Yeah.
They had a connection. There was something going on between these two, and in the end, it was just the way he was holding his hand as he was let go from the world, and it was just, So good.
Just that.
That was the best death scene I have ever seen.
Just kind of the realization from Pacino that they are one and the same. Just that they're both the best at what they do from two different things, and it was really a case of who was going to go.
No wonder I couldn't tell the difference between the two.
Something else I wanted to touch on, but I've forgotten now anyway. Oh yeah, as I was saying, you know, if you just look at it, you think, oh, a standard action film. It is not your standard action film. It is a brilliant, brilliant film. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, okay.